This video under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go. Survivor Speaks, your favorite breast cancer survivor, coming to you with a live video. So today I'm going to be doing something a little different. So I'm not going to actually, because I don't have that much time, so I don't even want to jump into the transcripts about the P. Diddy case, but I would like to talk about what happened in the courtroom today. So you did see what the headline says. It says, Diddy banned from the courtroom. Listen, there's a whole lot of going on. So today we're going to talk about attorney Nicole Westmoreland. Your girl might have to go there. I might have to go there. There's a little hypocrisy there, and that's the reason why I said I wasn't going to go there. And I wanted people to do their homework. But people have not, and the hypocrisy must go. It has to stop. It has to stop. So we are going to talk about attorney Miss Nicole Westmoreland. How, if you look at a lot of the thumbnails across YouTube, they keep telling you that the witness that was on the stand yesterday and this morning, Cassie's friend, her story is a lie, right? False, and false. Okay? False, and false. That is not the case. That is how the defense was making it out to be on yesterday. Because she was a strong witness standing her ground about what happened to her, about being dangled from the 17th floor balcony at the hands of Diddy, right? So today, the government did not come to play. They wanted to introduce a text message from Cassie's device where she spoke about this said incident via text with Christina CourtRoom, who we all know as KK. The government said, hold up now. Since they want to say that we are lying, we have proof to show you that this incident actually happened. The defense says, objection. No, that's... So listen, here's the thing, right? I'm not even supposed to be getting into it this way, but I'm just a little excited. I know I'm not going to be here long today, and I want to get it out. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. Just wait a minute. We're going to get to that. And then we're going to get to, they actually put Jane on the stand this afternoon. Jane is testifying under a pseudonym, but based on her testimony, I know who she is. I will not be doxing her over here. There are so many other people that are doxing her all over the place. And because it was something that she said in her testimony that gave it all away, of course, I'm going to keep things ethical over here. I cannot tell you who she is if you have not figured it out yet. I don't want that even in my chat. None of that. But let's just say that we all figured out who she was without seeing her, just from her testimony. And so things should be getting pretty interesting on these social media streets because of who she is. Her story is starting out a lot like story. So a leopard never changes its spots. And it seems like the Diddy man, he doesn't change his spots. He just adds more women to the fold. Okay? All right. So we're going to get into all of that. I'm telling y'all to stay right there. If you haven't heard all that's going on in today's case, plus we're going to talk about attorney Nicole Westmoreland because, I'm all about women empowerment, but there is a limit when you get in a court of law in such a big case and do what you are doing, knowing that there is public information that could be researched about you. So the exact same thing that you are doing in this courtroom here, and I'm only talking about the times that she's crossed, and I'm talking about with the last witness that was on the stand. It is kind of, they're doing their job. But at some time when somebody says, listen, I got this case, I need you to take it. Sometimes you already know what the case is about. You should look it over and say, you know what? I'm going to just sit this one out. Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I'm not going to hop on this case. This is such a conflict of interest when it comes to me. I'm not going to take this case. I'm just going to close my eyes and just know that I just was paid in a YSL trial a hefty sum. Twice. I got paid a hefty sum. You represent somebody in a YSL trial. And then after my client was sentenced, I represented another client. And you know what? Even though this will be a good case to put under my belt, I'm going to sit this one out. But that's not what happened. We have a lot of victim shaming, a lot of grooming in this case, a lot of power in this case, a lot of different things going on in this case. But I will say this. I'm going to say this. I'm hoping that nobody hates me. That's right. I think that when it comes to Cassie, she is a star. She wanted to be a bigger star. She was a model, making great money when she met Diddy. So for Cassie, I'm going to say she was a young woman. She was groomed. And it was kind of like, all right, he kissed me on my 21st birthday. Oh my gosh, what do? I don't know how to take that. I don't know how to feel. So I ran out the door because I was confused, right? This came out in testimony, right? On direct. I was confused. And as before all of this came about, I already knew that Cassie, it was already said that Cassie did not want to be with Diddy. It was already said. She didn't like him. He was not her type. But if we know Diddy is somebody that is relentless when it comes to something that he wants. He has no boundaries. He will stop at nothing to get what he wants. Right? Okay. So when Jane stepped on the stand today, we're not in court. But we could tell who Jane is. From the testimony already coming from Jane, they'll pick back up tomorrow, court adjourned. There's a difference between her and Cassie, though. The story started the same way. What? Quite different. A little different. Jane Jane. Wow. You didn't need Diddy. You didn't need to be with Diddy. You agreed to be with Diddy. And of course, she didn't agree to be with Diddy in the way that she was. But just like with Cassie, it was a very slow progression, right? She was knowing him, around him about 2 years before anything really kicked off or he tried anything romantically. He was just grooming her at the time, right? She was 19 when he met her, 21 when he first kissed her. That's according to the court documents, the official transcript. But Jane, Jane, you didn't need Diddy. You didn't need Diddy. You did not need Diddy, okay? You didn't need Diddy. But you made a choice. And I'm not saying that after somebody makes a choice, you can't change your mind. That's where a lot of people have it wrong when it comes to grape. A lot of women that are married get graped all the time. If you're married to somebody and you tell them no, no means no. They should not be, you're my wife and I'm, no means no. At that point, it is grape. If you are in the thick of things, he not married anybody, he is passionate, and you get to that point, you're like, no, I don't want this. I don't want to cross home base. I don't want to go all the way. I don't. And the person continues. It is grape. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people need to educate themselves on the law. But I don't make the law. I'm just telling you the law. That I know to be the law. I mean, I know it's hard. Like once you in the thick of things, to be like, oh, wait a minute, no. When somebody says no and you keep going, that is grape, right? I'm the messenger. Don't take the messenger out. All right. I'm just telling you guys what it is, right? All right. So let me see if I can pull up this here. So we could get into some things, because there are some things that we need to talk about, right? And if you're here on YouTube and you're watching, please hit the like button just in case you guys have to skedaddle. I would greatly appreciate that. Let's see if we have it here. Yes, we do. Okay. So, before I get into what I'm going to get into, we're going to talk about, the first thing we're going to talk about is the attorney, Nicole Westmoreland. Right? I wish you guys that were over on X, formerly known as Twitter, would come over to YouTube and hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, so you know when I do go live. Hit the like button and subscribe. Let me go over here to X and I'll put in my link. Really, really quick. Let me see here. Because we need to talk about this. It is fair game. And anybody knows me knows that I was not going to talk about this. But I am. Hold on a minute. Then we gonna come over here. And all right. All right, let's do that one right there. All right, so I just put the link to this video in the chat here. If you're watching over here on YouTube, on X, if you could click that link, come over here and just hit the like button over here on YouTube, and then hit that like button. And the air, I was taking a look. Listen, I just got home. Hold on, y'all. I just got home, and I didn't want to be too late, but traffic was everywhere. And I had to basically do some maneuvering to get home. So, yeah. First, we're going to talk about. Let me just send something out, and I'll be right with you guys. Hold on a second. I'll be with you guys in 1 second here. Okay. So yes, so I was trying to get here. And now we're here, right? Trying to get here, and we are here. So when I got here, I had to turn the air on. My daughter wasn't home. She normally comes home, turns the air on. When I come in here, it's like a freezer box. Today I came in here and I'm like, whoo, you know what? Normally I'll be like, why you got this air up so high? I'm freezing. Now I understand. Because she gets home before I do, and then it'd be on full blast, and I'll be like, I'm cold. Give me free. So for all of you guys that are coming over here on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, I dropped a link down in the chat over there. If you could click on that link, please come over to YouTube. Just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 4K subscribers, and we're trying to get there. Like I said, today we're going to talk about the attorney Nicole Westmoreland. I think it's very, very important that we talk about Nicole Westmoreland. And we're going to talk about what went on in court today. How the government is not putting up with any of the foolishness from the defense, and the judge had laid the smackdown today about Diddy. His attorneys need to have a firm conversation with him. Okay. So need to have a firm conversation with him because they are not playing with him. His attorneys need to talk to him. The judge he's not pleased at all. He's not pleased at all. And, I commend him for putting his foot down, because I had been hearing that this was going on, and it has been going on for a while. But what's going to be interesting is if he's going to say something to the jury, because I heard the jury has been acting out also. There has been like these crazy things happening now, and it seems like it is hate for always. Girl, I know. Don't worry about me. We're not even gonna be here long. We just got some things to talk about. I'm glad you're here though. I'm hoping that you can respond and react to what we're going to go over today. This is not going to be a reading of the transcript today. We're going over today what happened in court today, and we're also going to talk about Miss Nicole Westmoreland. Now, you know that's one of my favorites, one of your favorites, but this is something that I think needs to be talked about, all right? Because, listen, like I said, some things that you think are good for you, sometimes you just have to tell yourself, I may need to sit this one out. And remember, I kept saying, there is a reason why I believe that Diddy hired Miss Westmoreland and there is. But Miss Westmoreland should have told Diddy, you know what? Nah. I don't think I'm gonna sit this one out. I don't think this is like a conflict of interest. And being that she went so hard on the young lady that was on trial, that was on the stand, I think this needs to be talked about. So I already read the disclaimer. Shout out to, I pulled this from Justia. It is a law, I can't even get the words out, y'all, because I'm just like, I didn't want to talk about this, but your girl, I am, because I have to. I have to, because the hypocrisy behooves me. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about it. So Justia, it is a site where they, keep cases. This case is from June 27th of 2008, right around the time when Cassie was being groomed, still hoodwinked, bamboozled, if you will, right around the same time, right? So let's go. Let's get into it. Why not? Let's go. We're doing this. We're going to do this. All right? Miss Westmoreland. What happened? Miss Westmoreland happened. And this case is Westmoreland versus Williams. This case, and this is the Court of Appeals of Georgia. This is the Court of Appeals, but you will hear about the case and what happened on appeal. Okay? So let me bring it over here for you. All right? I just don't like when, people forget. Okay? I don't be liking that. I don't like all of that. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can go on and zoom in a little more. We don't want that though. All right. Doesn't matter. If somebody wants to pull up the case and, and talk about it, pull up the case and talk about it. All right. So this is Miss Westmoreland versus Williams et al. Okay. Hey, Nessa. So look, this is June 27th of 2008, Court of Appeals of Georgia, right? Theodore H. Lackland, Atlanta, for the appellant. McLean and Merritt, Howard M. Lessinger, Hollis, C. Cobb, James H. Cox, Atlanta, for appellees. The presiding judge was Judge Johnson, right? Let's read. After Nicole Westmoreland was raped during a party at a music recording studio, she sued the recording artist who had invited her there on a theory of premises liability. The trial court granted summary judgment to the defendants because factual disputes preclude summary judgment. We reverse, right? Summary judgment is warranted when there is no genuine issue of material fact and the movement is entitled to judgment as a matter of law. When considering a motion for summary judgment, the trial court must give the opposing party the benefit of all reasonable doubt and must construe the evidence and all inferences and conclusions therefrom in the light most favorable to the opposing party. On appeal from summary judgment, we conduct a de novo review of the law and evidence. I wasn't going to talk about it. I wasn't going to talk about it for always. I was not going to talk about it. I was going to let it go. I was going to let it ride. I knew I wasn't going to talk about it. I was going to let it ride. Now, this case is Westmoreland against Birdman. I was going to let it go. But you know what? The way you attack, and today she went overboard. It's even worse. We're going to take a look at it. And I'm just saying, don't sit here and attack someone who is a victim because they were, drug addicted at the time, and tell them that what happened to them. What are they lying? Are they lying about what happened to them? They put it out there that it was this whole lie, right? Before court started today, the government said, listen, we have proof from the text messages from the year that this happened of Cassie sending a text message to Christina Corman, aka KK, that we want to put on the record, since they're saying that Bona is lying, right? They tried to object. Now they did with an objection, not to put into evidence the fact that Diddy tried to pay her off from that incident, from dangling her from the balcony and throwing her into the glass furniture. He tried to pay her off. But since it was a civil suit and this is a criminal case, the judge said, no, we cannot admit that because of that. But the text message that was sent from Cassie to Christina Coram can be admitted as evidence. Hold on, wait. It goes further than that. It goes further than that. They object. Again, we're going to go look at it. We're going to go look at it. They object again, and guess what happened? The United States said today in open court, this is communication between Cassie and a co-conspirator of this case. And they're like, wait a minute. No. Co-conspirator, yes. Christina Coram, aka KK. They let it be known in open court that she is a co-conspirator of Sean Combs. So the defense is like, objection. She can't be a co-conspirator. I wasn't in court, but for what I heard, Miss Comey looked at them and was like, what? She gave them that look back like, what? Like, do y'all do the charging or do we do the charging? We have been talking about Christina Coram all this time, aka KK, and today we're making it known, I'm paraphrasing, that she is a co-conspirator at this time of Sean Combs, y'all. And so the judge said in that case, the text messages can be entered into evidence. And the text message read, hey, Christina, I don't know if I can. I need to get out and paraphrase it because we're going to look at what it said. She's not she's not. They didn't say unindicted co-conspirator. They didn't say that. They didn't say unindicted for always. They said co-conspirator. They didn't say unindicted. Now, listen, I don't know if they left that out or whatever. The government is saying she is a co-conspirator. So, which means she still has time to turn this around. But as of right now, she is a co-conspirator. And so the text message that Cassie sent to her said, I don't know what's wrong with him. He came over here banging on the door, woke my friends up, and dangled my friend from the 17th floor, my balcony. She lived on the 17th floor. I need to get away from him. So it proves what Bona said. So all of these people around here with these thumbnails saying, oh, Bona lied about being dangled from this is a text message from back then when it happened. Yes, it's getting crazy. And then when they released the jury, the judge told the defendant's attorneys, y'all better reel your defendant in here because he getting ready to get kicked out of this courtroom, okay? I said, now what did Diddy do now? What Diddy, what did you do? Is the judge talking about kicking him out? Look, child. You see why today couldn't be a normal transcript reading for today? We need to talk about this, but I need to talk about Nicole Westmoreland and this case first, because we're going to take a look at her poem. How you doing? Thank you and welcome. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. We need to talk about this because, and then we're going to look at the way she continued, because this was already, they argued this before she continued with her cross-examination. They argued that we're going to get to that poem. We're going to get to that in the middle. We're just going in. We're looking at a case right now from one of Diddy's attorneys. We're looking at an old case that she had when she sued Birdman and associates first. So we're going to look at the testimony from today to see how she continued to question this girl like she was lying, even though they know that they had the text messages and the text message, and the judge said that it can be entered into evidence because the government put them on notice that Christina Quorum, aka KK, is a co-conspirator of Diddy Sean Combs. All right, let's finish reading this first, because right now, what we're reading is a case. Let me go. It's from 2008. This is when it was on appeal. So they're going to go through everything about the case. And it's the attorney, Nicole Westmoreland, who is one of P. Diddy's attorneys. Now, anybody that has ever been to my channel that watch on Twitter, I said I have my own theory and reasoning why I think Diddy hired Nicole Westmoreland as his attorney, but look it up, because I'm not going to talk about, I like her. I like her style. I just don't like the hypocrisy that's going on in this case. Miss Westmoreland, let's talk about it. All right, let's get into the rest of this article here. All right, so it says, viewed in a light of favorable to Miss Westmoreland, the record shows that in 2001, when Westmoreland was 19, she worked 19, same age as Cassie, when Cassie met Diddy, but they wasn't doing none of that yet. Okay, let's go. She worked at a business that helped people reinstate their suspended driver's licenses. In early December of 2001, she met Brian Williams, aka Birdman, vice president of Louisiana-based Cash Money Records. a music recording label, and a man named Stone, who said he worked for CMR. Westmoreland described her job to Stone, who said that many CMR employees and recording artists had suspended licenses and could probably use Westmoreland's services. Stone invited Westmoreland. Thank you so much for always. I'll put that up there momentarily. That is the link to join the channel. I had already put it over there on X, formerly known as Twitter. And just hit the link. Come over here and hit the like and subscribe button. Sometimes I go live on YouTube only, and I'll mention it on X, but I won't go live over there. But for this time, you guys been rocking out with me so hard over on X. So yeah, here we go. So, all right. So a man named Stone, he told them that they can use her services. So Stone invited Westmoreland to make a sales pitch to CMR at Patchworks Recording Studio in Atlanta, where CMR had rented studio recording space. Put a pin in that. They were renting from Patchworks Recording Studio in Atlanta. Because Westmoreland was concerned about whether she would be safe at Patchworks, she called the studio and spoke with a receptionist who told her that Patchworks provided security during recording sessions and also had security cameras on the premises. That means that Patchwork is in charge of the security, video surveillance, and everything when you're on the grounds. She called ahead. They told her that, right? Let's go. In addition, Westmoreland drove to the studio to view the exterior and see if she was comfortable. She saw Brian Williams and Stone in the studio parking lot, and they assured her that she would be safe inside. They encouraged her to enter the studio, but Westmoreland declined and said she would return the next day. The following evening, Westmoreland drove to Patchworks with 3 female friends. Stone met them outside and buzzed them into the studio. The group went to a lounge area where CMR was hosting a party for a whole bunch of friends, up to 50 people. One of the party goers was Alfred Cleveland, a neighborhood friend of Ronald Williams, who is the president of CMR and Brian Williams's brother. Cleveland had been admitted to the party with Ronald Williams's permission. After Westmoreland's group arrived at Patchworks, Stone's brother Elliot was introduced to Westmoreland as a rapper for Cash Money. Stone and Elliot asked 2 of Westmoreland's friends to go out to the store for some items they needed. Westmoreland's friends left in Westmoreland's car. They took Westmoreland's car, went to get some stuff, whatever. Stone then left the lounge to attend a recording session, and Westmoreland's remaining friend was busy braiding someone's hair. At that point, Westmoreland became uncomfortable because many people in the lounge were using illegal rugs. She felt isolated without her friends, and her car was gone. Understandable, right? Right, understandable. Westmoreland asked someone where the bathroom was and was directed down some steps. As she descended the steps, she passed Cleveland, who told her that he would show her the way to the bathroom. Cleveland followed Westmoreland to the bathroom door. Westmoreland turned around and told Cleveland that she didn't have to go anymore, but he grabbed her, pushed her to the bathroom, and raped her. Sad. This is just sad. It's sad, right? During the grape, someone knocked on the bathroom door. Cleveland called out, "You know what's going on," and told the person to guard the door. When Cleveland finished graping Westmoreland, he opened the bathroom door and Elliot walked in. Cleveland told Elliot, "You can F that B now." But when Westmoreland begged Elliot for mercy, he let her leave. Westmoreland fled the building and waited in the parking lot for her friends. Shortly thereafter, Stone and Cleveland came outside and warned Westmoreland not to call the police. Westmoreland nevertheless reported the crime, and Cleveland was arrested. He was charged with grape, but eventually pled guilty to aggravated assault with intent to grape. Right? Westmoreland sued CMR and Ronald Williams for negligence, alleging that the grape resulted from their failure to keep the Patchworks premises safe. Let me stop there. She called ahead of time. So Patchwork said that they provide security. They provide the surveillance cameras. So why are you suing Birdman and them, right? It is true. Like, why are you suing Birdman and them? You should be suing Patchwork because they said they provided security during studio sessions. And at this time, they were renting out the studio. Birdman did not grape her, nor did Ronald Williams. They weren't one of the two that came down where she was. It was the guy, Elliot. But why did she sue Patchworks? But what I'm saying is, if you're reading this story, it reads a lot similar to some of the things that are coming out in the Diddy trial. And how dare you have this smoke for these women on a stand, and you went through the same thing. So my thinking is, because you didn't win the case, is this some type of revenge or something? Because what are you doing? What do you do? Did you say I'm gonna become an attorney and make sure what? I wouldn't be able to do it. But I'm gonna show y'all why I'm so upset and why I decided to talk about this. Because For Always knows that I refuse to talk about this. I didn't say what it was. I just said I got a feeling about why Puffy hired Nicole Westmoreland. I'm not going to talk about it. Y'all go out there, do your own research. That's what I said, right? But today and yesterday, I got a little perturbed. Because how dare you? The hypocrisy is crazy to me. I don't understand. For Always, you were saying, I don't understand why she got on this case either. Me not knowing that you knew about this case. Child, let's finish reading it though. Because it reads a lot like stuff that's going on in the Diddy case. And you are the one that's getting up and cross-examining these women. And I'm going to show y'all why I'm so upset about today. Hold on. So, the defendants the defendants sought summary judgment on the grounds that there was no evidence that they controlled the Patchworks premises. There was no evidence of a connection between the grape and any condition at Patchworks, and the grape was not foreseeable. The trial court granted the defendant's motion without explanation. On appeal, Westmoreland argues that there are genuine issues of material facts as to all issues raised by CMR and the Williams brothers. No appellee's brief was filed. OCGA 51-3-1 requires an occupier of land to exercise ordinary care in keeping the premises safe for invitees. This duty extends to protecting invitees from foreseeable criminal attacks by third parties. If the proprietor has reason to anticipate a criminal act, he or she then has a duty to exercise ordinary care to guard against injury from dangerous characters. Appellees argued below that they did not control or manage the Patchwork premises. Liability under OCGA 51-3-1 may arise when an occupier of land has personal charge or exercises the right of management or control over the property in question. We are just speaking in relation to the law here. We're not talking about the act. We're speaking in relation to the law here. I just want everybody to know that. So listen, whether an occupier exercises such control generally is a question of fact, which she called prior to coming to this building to ask them about the security, and Patchworks told her they are the ones, they provide security, and they also have security surveillance on grounds, right? Contrary to appellee's argument, there was evidence in the record that CMR paid Patchworks for the privilege of using not only the recording studio but also the lounge area where CMR hosted a party for a large group of friends. There was also evidence that guests had to be buzzed in to the premises and that CMR had the authority to decide which people were admitted. Finally, there was evidence that Cleveland was a friend of Ronald Williams and was admitted to the party with Williams' permission. Thus, there is a factual dispute as to whether appellees exercised control over the premises, and summary judgment was not appropriate on this ground. Appellees also argue below that there was no evidence that the grape was connected to any condition on the premises or that the grape was foreseeable. Knowledge by the owner or occupier or his employee of the dangerous condition created by a third person is a prerequisite to recovery under OCGA 51-3-1. The question of whether a criminal attack was reasonably foreseeable generally is for the jury. All that is required to survive a summary judgment 33 motion by the defense is evidence that the particular danger which resulted in the assault on plaintiff in this case was foreseeable under all the circumstances. Our Supreme Court has held that even weak evidence of foreseeability is sufficient to give rise to a triable issue. Construed in the light most favorable to Westmoreland, there is evidence that CMR invited a 19-year-old female onto the premises to make a business presentation and assured her that she would be safe. After she arrived, CMR left her isolated in a lounge full of people she did not know. That's not what it said. She came with 3 friends. Her friends went to the store. She was still there with people that were in the studio. So I don't know how, but this is not true, but after she arrived, CMR left her isolated in a lounge full of people she did not know, many of whom were using illegal drugs. There is evidence that while Cleveland was graping Westmoreland in the bathroom, Elliott, who had identified himself to Westmoreland as a CMR affiliate, knocked on the door. Cleveland told Elliott, "You know what's going on," and asked Elliott to guard the door, which Elliott did. You know what? They could have just been having acts. I'm playing devil's advocate here because of what's going on in the Diddy case. We're going to link it all together because I can't believe that she even took this case. Some things you got to just say, you know what, this is conflict of interest to me. You saw some of the evidence. You should have just sat this one out. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she was suing Birdman for money. Yes. Money, the same thing that you are on the stand in court badgering some of these women about. You did the same thing. So what's the difference? I just can't believe because you are going to make in the millions. She may make 2-3 million. Now you see this as a problem, but how? Me being a DV survivor, if I was an attorney, I would never represent an abuser. I mean, well, maybe people have different morals, I guess. So, when Cleveland finished graping Westmoreland, he opened the door for Elliott, who entered with the ostensible purpose of graping Westmoreland himself, but he didn't. A jury could infer from this exchange that Elliott, a representative of CMR, had prior knowledge either that Cleveland was going to attack Westmoreland or that Cleveland had previously attacked other women in a similar fashion. But she asked to go to the bathroom. So I don't understand how that works. She asked to go to the bathroom. They told her where it was. Cleveland was coming up the stairs at the time. She told him she was going to the bathroom. He said, "Let me show you where it's at." The other people was upstairs already. They just pointed her to where she should go to the bathroom. And when she got there, she decided not to go. So Cleveland got arrested for this crime, but why are you suing Birdman and them for? I think it was $200,000. Such knowledge could be legally imputed to CMR 15 because the evidence and the inferences from it construed in the light most favorable to Westmoreland, permit the conclusion that appellees control the premises and should have foreseen the attack on Westmoreland. Summary judgment was not warranted. Judgment reversed. Notes, she also sued several other parties, including Cleveland, Patchworks, which she should have. Patchwork said that they provide the security, and if she was indeed raped, then Patchworks should have been sued. But why are you suing Birdman and them? That's what. We're not gonna say that Birdman, he may not have got as far as Diddy may have, but you know that we all know that he was big. He was big out there. And another entity, she sued Universal Music Group Recordings Inc. Patchworks and Universal won summary judgment. Westmoreland appealed that ruling, but her appeal was dismissed for failure to pay court costs. Cleveland never answered Westmoreland's complaint, so default judgment was entered against him on the issue of liability. So he should something, which is, if he did what he did, then he got locked up. They won't let me out, and he's doing the goddamn on time for it. So I don't see how this was foreseeable by the others, and how you could just put that out there and draw inference that this is something that had happened before. In this case, it just does not fit to me. She asked to use the bathroom. The people that were upstairs told her it's downstairs, pointing her to the way. Cleveland was coming up the stairs because he already had left and went somewhere else, according to what they're saying. And she told him she was going to the bathroom. He said he would show her exactly where it was. When she got there, she decided not to go, but he forced her in there and raped her. So, yeah, he was arrested. He was charged. Elliot, who she claims knocked on the door, and he said, you know what it is? But you know what it is? Could be either one. It could mean something else. She in here giving it up. I'm just saying. But I'm just reading because I wasn't going to talk about this. I just was like, oh, it was kind of odd, especially based on, but the way you are up here, like badgering these witnesses and stuff and acting like, oh, they just wanted money. Did you want money for your grape? You did. You sued all these people. You didn't sue all these people for graping. You sued for money that you didn't get. Let's go. So this failure serves as an admission of Westmoreland's statements of fact so long as those facts are supported by the record. See Green versus Waddleton. They have a whole bunch of cases down here. All of this stuff down here. Okay. And so that's that. Let's take that off the stage. So the reason for me reading that is because you, in fact, sued for cash. Let me go back. Let me see if I can, because they didn't say how much she was suing for, but it is let me see if they have a number here. They don't have the number in here either. I think it was for $200,000 if I'm not mistaken. And she wanted to oh no, that's a different case right there. Hold on. Let me see if I can just pull up something here. Because I want to see the amount. Because I couldn't believe it. Yeah, they don't put the amount. I'm gonna have to see if I can pull the court docs for Miss Nicole Westmoreland. She should, of all the people, she should know how it feels to not. It's not that she was not believed though. For always, the guy did get. He was charged, and because he didn't answer the other part of the suit, she won that, and that judgment by default, but for liability. But the thing was, she called the company, the studio, prior to even going there and asking questions, and they told her that Patchwork Security provides the security for the studio sessions for the whole building. Like, so Birdman didn't have anything to do with the security, and they also had security 24-hour security surveillance, right? She called beforehand. They told her, they invited her in. Birdman and Stone, remember, said that they were in the parking lot because she was going to drive past the place. She said no, she didn't want to come in tonight, but she returned the following day with two of her friends. So they listen. I don't know if they will. I think that would be probably. I think that would probably go against them if they do. But my thing is now, so the question the question I'm going to ask you is, do you think because she went through something like that and she wasn't really, y'all gonna have me go, I'm have me going down a rabbit hole to see what all of her cases were about. Has she ever defended somebody that was charged with rape before? And why would you switch sides? I just couldn't. I don't care how much money it is, right? If you feel so strongly about something that you were suing all these people, you even brought Universal Music into this, then she sued Birdman, Universal Music, Ronald Williams, who's Birdman's brother, and he's the person that invited Cleveland to the party. Cleveland is the person that allegedly raped her in the bathroom. Cleveland was arrested. He was charged. And then she also won a default judgment. She tried to appeal because she lost as it relates to Birdman, and she lost as it relates to the studio, Patchwork. They were let off the hook according to the court documents. She never paid the court fees for the appeal. Was it because that was too much for you to relive? Was it triggering for you to remember that incident if it did happen? This is all the reason I'm saying this is because, is that why you're treating some of, the women that you do conduct cross on, or you're treating them this way? I'm just asking for a friend. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of today's testimony, right? Let's go. Oh my gosh, this guy is crazy. Yeah, you want to talk about a kook? I have nothing to say when it comes to that, but what is it? All right, here we go. Let's look at all right, let's bring it up here. So this guy's doing such a great job here of This guy on Twitter, shout out to him. He's doing such a good job with like he's just a little behind as the case progresses during the day, but he shares a play by play play by play testimony for the day. So we're going to look at the two things. We're going to look at why I finally said something about Nicole Westmoreland, because I definitely was not going to. Anybody that follows me or watches my videos know that I said I had a suspicion or a theory why, but I wasn't going to share it. But she pushed the button, and so now I had to share what I just shared. So what the prosecution is allowed to bring up her case on closing arguments, that would be a bombshell mic drop. I just don't think that they would do it. I don't think that they would do it. I mean, worse things have happened in this case. I don't know if they would do it. But wouldn't it be a mic drop moment? All right, so let's just take a look at how she has been examining. Oh, got to put it on the stage. The witness, Bono, who was dangled from a 17th story building. Let me see if I can blow it up here. Okay. So the judge says, I understand the press is doing their best with the orders, because this is what about Jane's text? They were talking just about Jane and her text, and he's keeping things so tight because of what happened with Mia. However, it was obvious to me who Jane is. I'm not into the doxing thing, but like I said, there's similarities like between Jane and Cassie. The only thing is Cassie did not want Diddy. Never wanted him. He groomed her, got her comfortable to a point. Remember, he kissed her he gave her 21st birthday party. Kissed her at the party. She was confused. She ran. She didn't know what to think, what to feel. Like, this guy is supposed to be, and now he just kissed. I don't know what to do with that. But Jane, let's just say Jane didn't need Diddy. You made a choice, and I'm not saying that after you made the choice, you didn't have the option to change your mind, because she sure enough should have had an option to change her mind, and they're showing in a testimony where he was not going to allow her to change her mind. She wanted to start her OnlyFans. He told her no. And their relationship was supposedly private. But when the testimony started, I'm like, oh my God, she just gave it all away right there with that answer. I'm not into doxing. I don't want anybody to put anything in my chat that suggests who she is. I don't do it. I'm going to have to go in and make sure I check my Twitter, because the judge is not playing when it comes to this doxing stuff. And even though she herself gave it away, just keep that in your mind. And I don't know if people don't think because they're not saying her name and they're referring to her as something else, how that can't be held against you. It can. Because in that instance, people know. And then also, people don't think that they should have put her on as a witness at all, because of her past history Like I said, I just believe I know who she is. I'm not sure, but everybody's thinking the same way. But we're not going to say it over here on this channel. So the reporters are now officers of the court, and they won't know what has to do to not be reported. That's why I want to review them myself. Let's skip down. So I want to get to, we want to screen. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back. Because this is something that I want to talk about. Right? Because of the way that Nicole Westmoreland was questioning the witness that was on the stand and implying that she was lying, kept telling her that she was lying, the government came in swinging this morning. And they said, wait a minute. We have a text message from Cassie. Text message exchange between Cassie and KK. When this incident occurred, we want to admit it because it corroborates the witness's story. And since the defendant's attorneys keep saying that she is lying or implying that she's lying, let's go. And they tried, but it didn't work. So Judge Sub-Romanian, the type of information that Ms. Comey wants to redact, is it just a matter of timing? Should we adjourn for the day to permit redaction? No, I reject that. The First Amendment does not require that. The government's made. Hold on. So here we go right here. This is yesterday, right? Well, 7 hours ago, he put it up. So we want a screenshot of Ms. Ventura's communications to Ms. Karam about Ms. Bungalan. That is the young lady who was on the stand. They call her Bona. She decided to come out herself. She didn't want to come out under a pseudonym. She didn't want to come out under any of that. She came out as herself. So she's not being doxxed here, okay? So being dangled off the balcony. How does the balcony incident connect to the indictment? It shows Mr. Combs' violence and that Ms. Ventura is aware coercion. So Alexandra Shapiro says it should not be admitted. It is a backward-looking statement. What? It has everything to do with the witness that is on the stand. It corroborates her story. What are you talking about? So anyway, let's go. The screenshot was captured in September of 2016, shortly after the incident. It doesn't say how Miss Ventura heard about it. Could have been from someone else. So they're trying to say that Cassie and Diddy were traveling during this time. We all know that Diddy has a private jet. We all know that people sometimes, maybe he booked a room for a certain amount of time. He wasn't going to get no money back. Maybe he didn't turn the key in. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. She sent the email. She sent the text message. And the judge says, bring in Ms. Bongalan, then jury all rise. We have lunch coming in for you. We're going to take a shorter break. Ms. Westmoreland, Combs Westmoreland, what is this a photo of Bongalan says rugs. So I think they argue this. Hold on, let me see, because he puts this up here in the way he does it. It's so crazy. So that they went to bring in Ms. Bongalan. So then the jury says all rise. So we're going to get to that point. But I wanted to just see how she continued to ask this woman questions when they know they have the text message between Cassie and KK about the incident. Kept going on like she was a liar. This is why you see all of these thumbnails. People have went live saying, oh, she's lying. And that's what I say about people not being in the court and not having the transcripts. But if you come here, he normally is right behind the court. Right? So it says, what is this a photo of? Bongalan says, Ruggs, you sent this photo to Cassie. She said, yes. Now DX1287, what's this? Bongalon says some types of rugs. How many types? She said, I can't tell. Ms. Westmoreland says, you're still doing rugs with Cassie on May 31st of 2016, right? She says, yes. This witness was very honest. So she says, just before this, Mr. Combs threatened your life? She says, yes. You weren't scared to continue dealing with Cassie? She said, I guess not. Okay, you said Mr. Combs groped your breast. She's objection. The judge says, ask again. Mr. Tyrone said Mr. Combs groped your breast. True. So this is a thing. And you made mention of this yesterday for always. I thought about you immediately. Immediately. So Tyrone Black, and this speaks to her character, right? She hired Tyrone Blackburn to be her attorney for her civil suit against Diddy for dangling her from the balcony on the 17th floor. However, she fired Tyrone Blackburn because he wrote some things that were false when he filed her court documents. Her when he filed the case, she was not going to agree with them because it did not happen. And so that's why she got a new attorney, because she was not willing to go along with the narrative that Diddy essayed her. Excuse me. So I thought about you for always when you said he needs to file the paperwork on time. He also needs to be telling the truth in the paperwork that he files. And that's why she asked him. Clip. Nope, I'm not going along with that. Bongalon says some of the things he wrote were not true. Westmoreland says you fired him and hired new civil lawyers and they drafted a lawsuit. You reviewed it. She said, to the best of my ability. Look at this document, only for the parties. Ma'am, isn't it true that your lawyer, Mr. Tyrone, alleged for the first time actual assault, and although you knew it was untrue, you began repeating it? She fired him. What are you talking about? Can you rephrase that? Mr. Tyrone alleged that Mr. Combs actually assaulted you, right? I can't speak for him. She fired him for that reason. You speak for you. You kept repeating the lie about the grabbing your breast. Can you restate it? Okay. You continued accusing Mr. Combs of actually assaulting you, even though you knew it was not true. It's really hard to commit to the whole sentence. You knew actual assault was the only way you could sue. I don't recall. You say you were screaming. Are you aware of anyone else calling the police? I don't think so. You didn't go to an urgent care. I didn't. You didn't tell the chiropractor what happened? Nope. Why not? I was scared. Okay. The girlfriend, what's her name? Sarah or Friday? Full name, please. I think Sarah Seidel, something like that. It was a while ago. You got the government. She was Friday, and that she wouldn't know anything. I'm not sure. On October 4th of 2016, didn't you attend Mr. Combs' concert? I don't remember the date, but yes, I went. Just ask Miss Westmoreland. Get it together, Judge. May we read the text? Proceed. You read Bonner, and I'll recast. You read Bonner, and I'll recast. I don't know what I wrote. Coolio, what time? Love you. Thank you for yesterday. You're asking Cass if Puff would like a sweatshirt 2 weeks after you allege he held you over a balcony. We were trying to be cool. Repeat that. We had the FaceTime call and we were trying to be cool. So basically he was trying to coerce her not to say or tell about this incident. What is so hard to believe about this? He did it to many others. People are testifying to the same things. Like, I understand that her job is to muddy the waters. I just don't like the fact that these are, this is a female victim just like yourself, and the way that you're trying to tear her down, and the way that you know that they have text messages that they're going to be admitting that corroborate what she's saying. but you still continue with this line of questioning. All right. So isn't it true that you continue to see Mr. Combs and Ms. Ventura because Mr. Combs did not cause you those injuries? Part of that statement is true, and part I can't agree with. You see your phone number on this? Yes. This text is from October 15, 2016 from Mr. Combs to you. Yes. Mr. Combs wrote, if you're going to do K with her, at least have her back. Do you remember receiving this? Yes. You remember the Bad Boy reunion tour you started on it but didn't complete it? Maybe one or two. September 25th of 2016. The tour was at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. True? I'm not aware. Not sure on dates. He was on a stage with Lil' Kim. I don't know. And at the Harlem Salute to Achievement. Objection. Sidebar. They go sidebar. And if I had the official transcripts, I can read the sidebar. Transcripts don't just come out like that. But I'm pretty sure they will be, available. But we're not even that far up on the transcripts. But let's get into this. So Westmore, they're back. Is this now y'all? Y'all know they said Diddy try to get a pardon from Trump. Is this Trump International Hotel stay of Frank Black include September 26th of 2016 in room breakfast for $231? You see, yes. You agree one person can't be in two places at the same time? Hard to say. A lot of people travel under him and paid for, but that's not for her to say. That's for the United States too. When they do their recross, what they will say. Hold on one second. Let me just see where my daughter at, because hold on. All right. So she said hard to say. I don't think it's hard. Listen, my best friend, we were at a function in New York. At the time, he sat on the board for one of Trump's buildings, and he used to do it all the time. And I would be laughing. They would be like, "Where's Marco? He'll be back in a minute. He was just here. He'll be back in a minute. He's somewhere at another function because he has to be there because he sits on the board." And then he popped back up. "Oh, hey, how are you?" And I'm like, you do this all the time. Leave me holding the bag all the time, sir. Stop planning two things at once. But anyway, well, he didn't plan the other thing. It was, Anyway, so you told the jurors Mr. Combs injured you in L.A. on September 26, 2016, correct? He has a private jet, ma'am. Bring in those jet records. AUSA, may we have a sidebar? Yes, you may. They go back to the sidebar. Okay, so Mr. Combs did not cause you the injuries in the photo you provided with metadata saying September 26, 2016. I can't agree with that. A person can't be in LA and New York at the same time. My answer is the same. No further questions, Judge. Redirect. They have a sidebar. So AUSA Smaja says, did you ever review the notes taken at your interviews? She said no. Did you give Cassie permission to put your name in her complaint? No. After she filed, I hit her up to tell her of mistakes. Tiffany wasn't there. When you filed your lawsuit, was its report of the balcony the same or different from Cassie's? Different. Is what you said today your best recollection? Yes. The demand letters of your first lawyer, did you write them? No. The demand letter that said Mr. Combs squeezed your breast so hard you had bruises, had you said that? No, ma'am. Do you demonstrate with hand motions? Please do. He started at my armpit. Were they on your breast? Yes. Do you yourself know the exact date of the balcony incident? No. Why not? It was a while ago. Any doubt Mr. Combs held you off the balcony? No doubt. Nothing further. Recross. Yes. So Ms. Westmoreland says, in a follow-up interview with the government, you gave them pictures of your leg injury with metadata. True? I gave them pictures. When you sued Mr. Combs, you weren't rich. I was not. You saw this as a chance to make $10 million. True? The judge would review the judge would review. It means for you to become a millionaire and soon, right? No, I am here for justice, meaning money, nothing further. You see what I'm saying about Westmoreland's attitude? Meaning money. That's what I would have said, well, I wish if I would have knew about her case. Ain't that what you took Birdman and them to court for when you said you was graped? Objection! That's what I would have said to her. And this is the second witness that she kind of like, just alluded to them wanting money. Whatever you said didn't happen. Unfortunately, Miss Westmoreland's claims were grape. But this young lady did fire her attorney for writing false things down. But like she's saying, he grabbed her under her armpits. His hands may have touched her, breast. And I think that Tyrone Blackburn just exaggerated what she said, but she fired him because he did write some things that weren't true that she didn't say. And she wasn't willing to go forward with them. You said, didn't you? She asked her, did you hire you fired your attorney and hired new counsel? And then she went back to asking her a question about Tyrone Blackburn. Knowing that she fired her, you just asked her that. Knowing that she fired him. Lord. I'm gonna have to do that later, Lord. Well, how did I do that? All right, so she says she here for justice, meaning money. And she dropped the mic, talking about no further. And the judge says, thank you to Ms. Bungalon. Is there an exhibit? Publish it, Combs. We object under Rule 106. So after the break, jurors, there'll be food for you in there. All rise. So about these text message chains. These are screenshots of messages between Miss Ventura and Christina CourtRoom. It first involved Miss Ventura saying her phone was thrown off the balcony. Then about Miss Bungalon, the defense wants more in. They want in Miss CourtRoom's message that he says that didn't happen. But that's self-serving hearsay with no exception. The alleged completed statements are not admissible. Mr. Agnifilo, your client was looking at juror. Oh, this is with you see, he leaving some stuff out. But listen to what the judge said, told Mr. Agnifilo about P. Diddy, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Diddy, Daddy Diddy, did he do it? Don't he do it? Do it. Judge Submarinian says, Mr. Agnifilo, your client was looking at jurors and nodding vigorously. This can't continue or I will give a limiting instruction you won't like, or other measures, including barring your client from the courtroom. Do you understand? He says, yes. So Diddy sitting there making gestures to the jurors, nodding his head as his attorney was asking questions to the person on the stand, nodding his head, making faces and all types of stuff they said he was doing. And the judge called it all out on the carpet, told him if he don't stop, he's going to give them a limiting instruction that they don't want, or other measures to include barring your client from the courtroom. So he's speaking to the attorney because he's not speaking to Diddy at this point. But Diddy was sitting there. I gotta go over here to see. How was he looking when the judge said that? Child, this guy don't get enough. So they asked him, somebody said, So let's go right here. So the judge says they're back. The judge, I could stay past 4 p.m. My sentencing's been adjourned, so I could stay late. But Miss Shapiro, I have a meeting with lawyers in another matter. I want to be here for all of Jane. A key witness will end at 4. They normally end at 3. So first, a stipulation, a seizure at Miami Airport of Christina CourtRoom's cell phone. That is it. Christina CourtRoom, aka KK. Pay attention right here. These are true excerpts. Publish the exhibit. Metadata shows September 30th of 2016. Bring witness in. Yeah, this is what I mean. So, oh, okay. So they did put somebody else on this. They put somebody on the stand to authenticate these text messages. Enrique Santos. I have worked at the SDNY prosecutor's office for 17 years. I've done 3,000 cell phone extractions. These 3 iPhones, whose were they? Santos, Cassandra Ventura. One had a changed IMEI number. It had been repaired. If a user takes a screenshot, what is the metadata? Creation date, modified date, where it is stored. This exhibit, is this another extraction? Yes. No further questions. Some deleted messages remain. Santos says yes. So, the September 30th is the capture date of the screenshot. Correct? Santos says yes. Thank you. And the judge says next witness. First, some sealed exhibits under the pseudonym order, and because actually explicit 1503 at this time, we call Jane. So they didn't really. I can't wait to get the official transcripts. You see why we read the official transcripts? Hi, love seeing her, Diddy of 73. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I hope that you enjoy it here. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're not going to be here too much longer. We're just going over this. But this is the reason why we go over the official transcripts, right? Because this guy is in the courtroom. He is a journalist that is sitting in the courtroom. And what he's trying to do is let the public know, as they are going in, he is typing what the question is and what the response is. And as you can see, it's not all of it. I believe he does release all of it, but it's something like you have to basically buy. But we are reading the official transcripts, and you know that we are still on Cassie's cross-examination, which I didn't have all the time to sit and do today, and I didn't want to really just start reading and cut it short. And I thought today was very, very interesting because Diddy, listen, the judge said, try it again. Look at them jurors one more time. Like you do people when you was on the street and try to talk to you with your eyes, smirking and nodding vigorously when your attorneys is up here questioning the witness. It's not allowed. Y'all better get y'all client in line, or I'm going to write a limited instruction to include removing him, banning him, he said, from this courtroom. Did he stop? Now, the judge is not playing. Listen, everybody not playing with you, Diddy. I would hate to see them ban you from the courtroom. But this is what it is. I'm just bringing you what it is. But as you see, he does have, he keeps a great thing going. But I like the full transcripts because I want to read everything. I want to read the sidebars. You see, they went on 2 sidebars back to back. I want to read the sidebars, everything. Like I said, and I stand by the fact that Nicole Westmoreland, I don't understand why you took this case. It is a conflict of interest, and the way that you are cross-examining these women, these victims, is shameful. That now the YouTubers that have an open mind are now pulling your card and reporting on you did the same thing to Birdman, Universal Records, Patchwork Studios, the young man that allegedly raped you, and a young man that you wanted to say came downstairs. He didn't see nothing. He just said, yo, and the guy screamed from inside, you know what's going on in here. So it could be, I'm just playing devil advocate. He could be saying, you know what's going in here. We ain't here getting it on. It could have been that. It didn't necessarily mean that his mind had to automatically go to grape. So I just don't understand. And like I said, I was not going to say anything about this. But Ms. Westmoreland, you get up there and you are talking to these women like you did not sue this rapper, this other rapper, the music studio, the record label, and everybody else for money. So I'm confused. I guess I will remain confused as to why. I know she took the case for money. But when it comes to morals, and you know what type of stuff is going on in this case, and maybe it's just me, but I don't think it's just me, because there's also, a male YouTuber that, spoke about this as well. There are people with open minds. And I knew this information, but I would not talk about it. I was going to just remain in confusion. But when you are the one that's cross-examining victims and you are calling them liars and re-victimizing them while they're on the stand, I have an issue with that. Let's go pull your dirt out. Let's go see how you sued civilly for money. Where's the criminal complaints? Yeah, love seeing her. That is crazy. It is so crazy to me. And people that are here, because I do have the official transcripts. So we are reading the official transcripts here on my channel. We are, because there's a lot of things that, people are reporting on. They're reporting on the core and the gist of what's going on, but you don't get the full scope of what's going on inside the court, sidebars, what they talked about at sidebars. We do all of that over here, reading through the official documents. And so it just, I had already said when we first started, I wonder why. And I had a theory. Why did he hire Nicole Westmoreland? But I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I wasn't going to say anything. That I was going to just sit back and just let them cook. Just let them cook. But the way that she has been questioning these women, these victims that are alleging something happened to them. In Cassie Ventura's case, it was grape. On one occasion, he raped her after she left him. In other cases, women are alleging he essayed them. Which is what is great. Don't lock no doors in my house. This is my house. We don't lock doors around here. And he took advantage of women in that way. Isn't that great? And they didn't want it. Is it when Mia said he put everybody out the kitchen and gave her something to drink and took her? Isn't that great? That is the same thing that you are alleging in your court documents, and you sued for money. You sued everybody and their grandmother for money. So I'll never understand why Nicole Westmoreland is on this case. It's not a good look for you, Suge. Let me see if I can pull something up real quick. Let's see here. So Jane took the stand. Basically, she's testified under a pseudonym. Basically, I'm not going to go through this testimony, but basically, based on what we know, this is what bugged me out, y'all. I am going to just read one point because I don't have long today, so I'm going to get out of here in a minute, but this is what bugged me out. Now, remember, Diddy told Cassie to call her Pop-Up because that's what she called her grandfather, right? He got nicknames for everybody. Why in Jane's case? Child. He called her Ernie, and he was burnt. Why the Sesame Street characters, y'all? What in the HE hockey sticks is going on here? You allowed this ninja to call you Ernie? Last time I checked, Ernie was a dude. Like, I had no understanding. What? And she called him Bert. Sorry, I got it mixed up. She was Bert and he was Ernie. I'm sorry. Isn't Bert a dude? And she's testified under the pseudonym, and people really already figured out who she was. He gave her rugs, as you can see here. He gave her rugs on the first night that they were, he was going with one of her friends first. Ernie and Bert for always. I can't make this up. Ernie and Bert. I can't. I promise you, I can't make it up. This is embarrassing on all levels. I know what I am going to be doing and checking on tonight is I'm going to be checking on 50 Cent's page because I want to see what 50 Cent. 50 Cent said he going to meet with Trump because the part in this. But yeah, it was the first night. She says one of my friends said she wanted rugs. I guess this is Rico, y'all. Y'all, everybody's asking for Rico and not his attorney that left. The Rico statue. I don't want to guess. Where did you go? The studio in 2-Star. A man pulled out pink powder. My girlfriend was upset. She thought I was getting with Sean, so we left abruptly. The next day, drinks by the pool, then movie night in the theater in his residence. He texted me, "I'd like to take you out." I replied that I felt complicated. Yeah, 50 is no joke. All right, so where were you living then? Jane, the East Coast. Did Mr. Combs contact you? Yes, he was flirtatious. He invited me to Miami. Read these texts. Not shown to the gallery because remember, we're trying to protect her at all costs because of what the people did to Mia. Either way, it's crazy. They are always saying the same thing. They was taking so many rugs. Exactly. But you can figure out who this lady is. Nobody put it in my chat, but everybody figured out who it is. Let's go. So, yeah, and love seeing her, like, of course, the stories they cannot get together and just corroborate all of these stories. Listen, it is what it is. Cassie's gone. Wait, let me make sure that Cassie's going at this time. What? 2020. Okay, Cassie's going at this time. Tag, you're in, but he's doing things differently now. You're going to remain a secret completely. But we did see y'all together. I'm gonna just be quiet. The studio in 2-Star. A man pulled out pink powder. Okay, so drinks bottles. Okay, where were you living then? The East Coast. Did Mr. Combs contact you? Yes, he was flirtatious. He invited me to Miami. Read these texts. It wasn't shown to the gallery. What does he say? He says, "Call me Ernie." Who was pursuing who? He was pursuing me, but I was being considerate of my girlfriend. But she got engaged and moved overseas, so I felt I could do this Sean thing. Has she been seeing Sean and her fiance at the same time? Yes. Jane, why are you spilling her tea? But all right, listen, I went to Miami in January 2021. He got me a hotel room. Where did you have your first date? The hotel balcony. Child, how long did your first date last? 5 days. What did you tell him about your past? I dated someone he knew. Also, my child's father didn't get along with Sean. He said he didn't mind. How many children do you have? 1. What did Sean say about his relationships? Only my friend. He said it wasn't a real relationship. So he told her. Here's the difference, you guys. He told her. It's not a real relationship. What did you do? We made a lot of love. We walked on the beach. Later, went on a proper first date. Dressed up a restaurant. I was head over heels. Well, God damn it! If that's all it takes, then you should have just strip. If all it took was him to take. Yeah, but y'all made a lot of love though. So you already did that part. Excuse me. They walked on the beach. Later we went on a proper first date. You gave up the cookie and then went on a proper first date. I can't stand these hobos coming up today. Who raised you? Who in the heck, Heezy, raised you? You made the love and then he took you on a proper date. He knew right then and there because you already said that he knew somebody you dated. Him and your baby daddy didn't get along. He said he had no problem with that because that is in pure Diddy fashion. That's right up his freaking alley. Are you kidding me? We don't get along. Yeah, I ain't mad at that. Come on, boo. Time to love bomb all over you. Because we're going to kill two birds with one stone. Dummy. Listen, I don't know who raised these people, but I understand he's a celebrity, but you gave up the cookie. I need you to say this with me again. You gave up the cookie and then went on a proper date? That's backwards. That's backwards thinking. Anywho, how did you stay in contact? Text. Did you travel with him? Turks and Caicos. Ciao. I can't even click on this because I don't even want to see none of the responses. Love seeing her said, I feel like I know, but not sure. She is pitiful. Ciao. We can't say because we can't dox nobody. Survivor Speaks will not be doxing anybody. We don't have proof, but I think I know who she is. I'm almost 99.9% sure, like the DNA test, that I know who she is, but there's a lot of other people doxing her. Listen, I don't need the courts asking me nothing, because if anybody didn't read, the government has already said when somebody is testifying under a pseudonym, and you should know, everybody should know that you cannot dox them. You cannot, as a content creator, you cannot dox them on your platforms. You have to be responsible with your platforms. And it's sad that you have to monitor what people, how people reply under your posts. So for this video, I may have to just turn off the comments. Tell them to hold all comments until I review them. Because if somebody watched the video and I'm not here, and they can comment anything, and then there goes doxing. Like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. I just will, on X, I might just turn them off and just leave them off. On YouTube, I can go through them. If they're okay, I'll just release them. But that's what I might have to do after this video. Because I don't want nobody putting what they think in here. And not even what the connection is, that's still doxing her, because everybody knows. So yeah, I see that they did it all under his post. So, So we're going to play a video not shown in the gallery. She's saying that I took the video. What do we see? The villa, the vibe. I want y'all to pay attention to everything that she's saying, right? Hold on one second. Hello? Oh, wait. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, there it goes, green. Oh yeah, yeah, for always. That's what I think I'm gonna have to do, because if not, people would just put stuff. It's just it would not be your fault, but like they try to say, like, I know YouTube holds you to all the comments that people put under you're responsible for the comments. So I would, yeah, protect the channel. Not only that, protect this case. Like, that's like, I just want to see, justice done for real. There are real victims here, out here. And I'm just showing you the difference in what she's saying and how Cassie was led into, like, grooming over a couple of years. She was 19. First case was 21. She was 21. Did continue to groom her, love bomb her, had to explain to her what voyeurism is, all that type of stuff. And then ease her into it. This child here, listen, she done gave up the cookie already. Talking about stuff, it's a villa, it's a vibe, all this other stuff. And then you're going to see how he explained to her and she agrees with. But it does not say that if she decides at some point, like, I don't want to do this no more, then she shouldn't be forced, because now it's coercion. And then that speaks to the RICO statute that they have. Like, coercion is under the RICO statute that they have for this case. And a lot of people are acting like they don't see it, but that's what it is. Even though this lady is a gold digging horseshoe, a garden too, because baby, you didn't need him. You didn't need his money. You didn't need none of that. You didn't need any of that. All you needed to do was to go on the court and get your child support. I'm pretty sure you would have been just fine. But everybody wants to be so wrapped up with the millionaire billionaire. Irregardless to what he would get. Wait till y'all see when she asked him about a condom. Child, listen. What did you tell Sean? That I was a single mother on social media. I called myself a content creator. What was your work advertising brands on my social media? What did he give you? A love bracelet? He said he'd give me money because he'd taken me many days away. I really appreciated that. How much? $10,000. She was gone for 5 days. Okay. What drugs had you used before? Ecstasy twice, 2014 and 2015. You used it in Turks. Who suggested it? Sean. Like 10 times in the pool, he gave me a pill. Said it would be more fun. I was walking down the beach with him and I fell. I think I was screaming too. Here we go, y'all. Here we go, y'all. Here we go again. They put me in the shower. KK did. KK is Christina CourtRoom. Who I don't know why he don't have it. Who they stated in open court today is a co-conspirator of Sean Combs. They had a big blow up about that. Listen, how you gonna tell the government whether or not she's a co-conspirator or not? I don't understand how the defense think that they can tell the government, no, she's not. What do you mean, no, she's not? So you know what? We didn't see it for always. We gotta wait for the transcripts because he don't really have it all. But from what I heard, they didn't say unindicted co-conspirator, but she very well could be. But from the reports that I saw from other people, they didn't say unindicted. So maybe she is still an unindicted co-conspirator. And she still has the option to flip it. Girl, they mention her name more than they mention. I don't know if they mention her or D-Rock's name more. I don't know which one. But I know that, girl, you all up in the videos, child. All up in the like you what all on the phone call, you all up in the I don't think one person testified and didn't mention KK. You're not crazy making me yes. Do you do? No, I don't. Do you want to? It's going to be no. You take it. Let me see how you act when you take it. I see you acting a whole donkey. Nope. I will not. You think they're about equal? Yeah, I don't know. Listen, he ain't flipped either, so he's probably an unindicted co-conspirator. KK did too much, and if he gets found not guilty, she might take the fall for everything. Listen, at this point, like, listen, would he do it for you? That's all I'm saying. But you did all this for him, and you still. There's a chance he might get off. That's because so many people, like, and some people are alleging, like, his PR is having all of this stuff sent out. Because I'm like, this man did a whole lot. Like, oh, the girl that was dangling from that's not true. They proved it in court. No, they got this whole text message that said that Cassie told KK. And how they got it admitted in evidence is that they let it be known that KK is a co-conspirator. So, okay, so you know the phone's gonna be ringing off the hook. Hey, KK, meet me at meet me at They dumb to be talking on some phone. You see, they done confiscated her phone, 3 phones from KK at the Miami airport. Do y'all think that the government is playing? KK, do you think that they playing it and took your phoneage? And she had a phone that used to be Cassie. Child, they didn't say what year. But listen, when we get into the official transcripts, we read everything. We get to see everything. So she said that she thinks she was screaming too. Okay, so they put me in the shower. KK did. Did you take another ecstasy pill? Yes, but a smaller dose. It made me feel relaxed, euphoric, actual. It enhanced touch and sense. It made me feel more loving and flirtatious. I love seeing her say, I would have been the first one in the line where he was arrested and she's still not saying nothing. Girl, these people just sign me up for jail. Sign me up for jail. Sign me up for jail. Just sign me up for jail. Here I go. I'm not saying that. Sign me up for jail, girl. When it's time for you to go to court, if you don't say nothing, do you know all these people coming back into court, they're going to be asking different questions as well. What about coming down from ecstasy? It was like your mind was kind of readjusting, coming down from a high. You're just tired. In the Bahamas, did you continue taking drugs? Yes, ecstasy. Sean gave it to me. How much did he wire you? 10,000. We started using the L word. He told me he was seeing multiple women. I was okay with it. See, Cassie wasn't okay with him seeing other women. And she was jealous. She said, and she didn't lie about that. She wasn't okay with it. She was not. And that's the difference between her and Cassie. Because he tried to make Cassie believe she was the only one at some point in their relationship. But with her, he needed to change the way he did things. Let me let you know it. This is what's going on. Why? She said, I liked him. Did you have the sense you had the option of a monogamous relationship? Did you have the sense that you had the option of a monogamous relationship? She says, no. Until when did you continue dating Sean? Until his arrest. Any breaks? 2. The second in October of 2023 for 4 months. When did you get back together? February of 2024. But he got locked up in March. Ew. How public were you? It was private. Did you post about your relationship with Sean on your social media? Only once. I remember that. Yeah. So where did you move? From the East Coast to LA. He gave me $6,000 for a moving trip. In 2021, February to May, how often did you see him? Every other week. What did he give you? He was sweet. He would give me money here and there. Ciao. Cash, wires. She said, both. How often did you use drugs? Every time I saw Sean. Ecstasy, Molly, Schnoschnane, K or ketamine. Molly enhanced like ecstasy, actual. Ciao. Orny. Schnoschnane. It made me feel alert. I didn't like K. The walls were closing in. Ciao, he had you effed up. Oh my gosh, y'all. In what context did Sean give you rugs? When we were having X, what did you learn? So many things. How he liked to have on corn playing. Corn. He liked me in lingerie. Lingerie. I know how to see it, y'all. Lingerie. And with high-end stripper shoes. Isn't that what they found during the raid? I swear you can't make this up. I was to put baby oil all over my body and his. What type of rooms? In his bedroom. How was it lit? Here we go again. We'd have red lights on. How did you feel? I loved him. Yes, for always. Say that again. For always. If you don't say that ish again, what up, Allie? So, Allie, girl, we ain't gonna be on here too much longer. We just going over like the testimony from today. You know that this person is testifying under a pseudonym, so we cannot over here. We cannot. We've already talked about it. Like, you know, I'm going to turn the comments off when we get off here, because I don't want, because so many people have figured out who they think it is. I'm 99.9% sure I know who Jade is. And, you know, I just need to protect my channel at all costs. Don't come on the air with that. But baby, up until now, she is with every single thing that he is doing. Remember, Cassie, it was 2 years right from the gate. And she didn't need him. All she had to do was go to court and get child support. But this is what greedy gets you. This is what being greedy gets you. And I'm going to point something else out. Let's go. Let's read. All right. So we'd have on the red lights. Yeah, she's the new Cassie for always. You hit it right on the nose. How did you feel? I loved him. I loved them. So she liked the red lights. May of 2021, what happened? I remember that when we would watch Corn, we would have a lot more fantasy conversation. Her voice cracks. Do you need a break, Jane? No. We would search things on these websites. He wanted me to fantasize. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? In May of 2025, was there objection? Oh, May of 2021, excuse me, because He was incarcerated in May of 2025. We sorry we made that mistake. Sorry. Okay. As a matter of fact, the trial has started May of 2025. The government says, my bad. We'll rephrase. We'll correct that. On May of 2024 of 21. I am so sorry. Where were you watching the corn? This MIA doesn't stand for me. I believe it stands for Miami. And here we go. Here we go. You just cut me off. That was my fault. I wasn't paying no attention, y'all. Because this right here is uncivilized. Chop, y'all. You know what? I'm just saying, women, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. You know, a lot of times we like to believe what people tell us. But you know what? In this case right now, up until this point, like I can't even blame the monster at this point, right? Because she chose to be in this. Because you were so in love from the door, from the gate, from the beginning. You were so in love. So you say, right? So you went on with things. And he's bringing you into his fantasy. Play right out of the Diddy Ventura. I don't even think it's just Cassie. I think it's way more than Cassie. Book. It's the Diddy playbook. We reel him in, but she was with it. Let's read. Let's go. Where were you watching the corn? I believe that I'm sorry, Allie, about the corn. I'm sorry, but you know I got it. So MIA, I believe, is Miami, y'all. It's not me. It's Miami. I have been awake for 15 hours or 24. He had it up for 24 hours, y'all. 24. I'm going in instead of 24 hours. Y'all know what Cassie said. Same. Oh. What drugs? Ecstasy and Molly. He said I can make it happen. Why did you say okay? I thought I was playing into the fantasy. But when I came out of the bathroom, he was staring into his phone. Really serious. He said it can happen tonight. So the fantasy that they were looking at, he told her it could happen tonight. She went to the bathroom and came back and bam. It's going down. It's about to go down. He did old school PIMP moves. He made her think it was a relationship. But really, he was getting her ready to be used. Listen. Baby girl, when he said it can happen tonight, then I would have been like, I wasn't ready. No. This not going, she has not set up until this point that he has put his hand. This is still the love bombing stages for him. But he figures since you moving right along, let's just go and get to it. The PIMP move. I don't know what you heard about me, but if you can't get $1 out of me, hey, then I'm an MNF and PIMP. I don't know what you heard about me. Hey, I'm stupid, y'all. I'm stupid, y'all. But some of y'all feel me. Oh, Allie, yeah. She said in the beginning that she had told him before they started messing around. She told the courts that she had told him, you know, you and my baby father don't get along. And he said, that's okay. I could deal with that. In true Diddy fashion. He like, bitch, thank you for telling me that. Buckle up for the ride. I already knew who you got daggone baby daddy is. You just don't know. I know already, but I'm act stupid. Oh no, that's okay. That's all right. In true Diddy fashion. If you knew, then you know. but we can't dox her. She's testifying under the pseudonym Jane. Okay? I don't know how much or what you've seen today, Allie, but, the judge warned the defense team. Y'all, Mr. Agnifilo. Now, I noticed your client, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Brother Love, a.k.a. Love, a.k.a. Pop, a.k.a. Poppy, a.k.a. Love on top, Tunchi on the bottom, is making googly eyes and nodding his head vigorously when his attorneys is up here questioning the witness. Now, if he does not stop, I'm going to give a limited instruction that you would not like. That can include banning your client from the courtroom. Diddy, you about to get kicked out like Dow Brooks? Where's the objection? She said, oh, dang, I've been holding the objection sign up. Wait. Allie, listen, he getting ready to be Darrell Brooks up out of here, okay? Tell him to knock it off. Judge Subterranean, I just prefer Judge Arum is still respectful to him, Judge. I put Judge in front of it. It's not playing with his ass. Not all the names, baby. The last one is mine. Love on top, Tunchi on the bottom. Yes, Poppy, that was Carisha, please. Young Miami, if you freaking will. Pop, what? How crazy is it? What did you call your grandfather, Cassie? Pop, but that's what you're gonna call me. And she all in a text message. Are you hungry, Pop? Sick. Diabolical. Absurd. It's crazy behavior. Like, what the heck? You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah. You know what? I forgot about that song. The reason why I forget about that song, but yeah. This judge, she's not playing. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, Judge Arum, why did you make that call? But listen, the judge said today, I was tired. I done seen this before. Hold on. Somebody might have said, who knows? Somebody might have emailed him like, look, you don't see the monster up in here making faces and stuff at the jury. He's not supposed to even be eyeing the jury down like that. Just crazy. So let's go. They asked her, how did she react when he said that we can do this tonight? She said, I was like, tonight? Then okay. Then we were in a hotel. I saw the assistants setting up the room. The lights were already red. She saw the assistants setting up the room. How many times are we going to corroborate this story? The assistants was setting up the room. We know at the time that KK was the assistant. Christina CourtRoom. Now that we know, and they have said in open court, that you are a co-conspirator in this case, I wouldn't sign up for jail. I'll be like, remove my, I'll be in there. What y'all want to know? Under perjury, I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm not going to jail. I'm not losing my freedom for nobody. Child, he was doing this before you came on, KK. KK was, let me tell you something. When you saw Diddy and you saw, at the time, I just did not know who the heifer was. But when you saw Diddy and you saw his security, you saw KK. All up in the video, they show a video of this man dressed like he was a one of them samurai sword fighters, all in black. He had the thing over his head, got out the truck. Now we know what it is, right? got out the truck, had a lollipop in his mouth. We know that they got the lollipops and stuff out of the room when he was arrested, and they tested it, and it came back positive for ketamine, Tunchi, all that. Right? He hands the lollipop to D-Rock. He got security. Who comes stepping out the truck? Right? Like she's security. Like, yeah, that I'm here. Yeah, what's up, y'all? Smiling for the camera. Paparazzi. Pete. KK. Christina Corum. Girl. There is no way. I don't know if she has children. I don't know. She needs to visit Sammy the Bull's channel because Sammy the Bull is on the YouTube tour right now. And he like, listen, I was a cooperating witness and they just wanted me to tell the truth. So yeah, after doing time, Sammy the Bull was like, forget that. I'm not going, I'm telling. Now, in this case, would she be a rat? She would, because she participated in these crimes. Somebody like Kid Cudi, he's not a rat. People need to learn the difference. Kid Cudi didn't get together with P. Diddy and do no crimes. He wasn't that type of dude. Well, he broke into his house, violated his dog, blew up this man's car, threatened to unalive him. He is not a rat. He's just simply telling it like it is. But somebody like Christina Corum, D-Rock, then, if we want to say, oh, they're ready, then that's what they would consider. But Sammy the Bull says, I was a cooperating witness. He never come out and say I was a rat. I was a cooperating witness. Mm-hmm. They better go on and act like the title is sophisticated. I plead the fifth. I'm here to be a cooperating witness. Mm-hmm. Why do people not understand? Everybody's like, well, it has to be an enterprise. There has to be an enterprise. All of the people that are testifying against Diddy that have flipped the security guard that took the $100,000 bribe, which is part of the RICO charge. It's a component of the RICO charge, bribery. Officer Flores, who did not take the bribe, but said that he offered him the money. They tried to say, oh, he was handing you all that money to pay for the flower pot he broke in the... And Officer Flores didn't only prove then, but he proved afterwards that he could not be bought. Bribery. The lady that was on the stand this morning and yesterday, Bona, unindicted co-conspirator, part of the enterprise. She pled the fifth, she got immunity. She was selling rugs to Cassie. Cassie, unindicted co-conspirator. Even if you don't want to believe it, that's your fault. I guarantee you, Cassie was granted immunity. Everybody that's sitting on this stand that has been with him and he's committed some type of crime is part of the enterprise. They are unindicted co-conspirators. This is what people are not getting. But the people they're not talking, they're going to be co-conspirators. That is the enterprise. They did things to hide things, like setting up these rooms, and before housekeeping would come and clean up these rooms, y'all nasty ass assistants will go and clean up the rooms to take out anything that he did not want the cleaners in the hotel, the housekeepers, to see and report to the newspapers. That means rug wrappers. Clean up some of this baby oil, because it's everywhere. Clean up some of these body fluids that's everywhere. Take out some of these candles. Don't forget my strobe light. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and that's all over the newspapers. KKU was the go-between between setting up the bribery payment for the video from the hotel. Stop playing. I'm just saying, there's so many instances that you could connect here, but everybody is thinking on a surface level. You can't think that way. These people did not bring this man to court if they didn't think they had a case. They are showing you the case bit by bit, but what people are missing is that the enterprise is testifying as we freaking speak. They are all unindicted co-conspirators, and if they don't testify truthfully, their immunity is null and void. You're going to go to jail. So they better get up there and tell the truth. That's why you hear these people saying, I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to testify. I did not want to be here. I did not want to testify. But if I didn't, they don't care how scared you was. You going to jail. Capricorn Clark. Oh, yeah. They kidnapped me basically at Pow Point. And even though she didn't have any other choice, you brought him to Kid Cudi's house, and there goes the crime. And how smart is Diddy that you would be sitting outside of Kid Cudi's house in a black truck, and if that investigator wasn't thinking, let me memorize this license plate. What is this truck doing here? And after the investigation, what do they see? Same truck coming down the hill. That's the same license plate. Let's run it. What do they find? It's registered to Bad Boy Enterprises. Are y'all dumb? Okay. All right. I digress. Let's, because this is almost over. They didn't really keep her long at all. Okay. But because I want y'all to see the shift. If you didn't see this already. So she saw the assistant setting up the room. The lights were already red. Do you remember which assistants? I don't. He said, there's someone coming. He knows the guy. I was super nervous listening in. Who did you think this guy was? The fantasy guy. What did you think would start happening? Actual things between me and the fantasy guy. He arrives and they are talking. It was a regular hotel room, or was it a suite? It was a suite. Let me make sure. Okay, good. Nobody else but him. All right. What did you do? I said hello to everyone. I saw Don. Who is Don? One of the entertainers. Published a photo to the jury, not shown in the gallery. No personal information on it. Presumably jewels were shown. And the bookseller. The bookseller. Oh, the Punisher. Okay. Got it. What next? I was on the couch with my robe on. My legs were crossed. Girl, you were sitting there, so Diddy like. Child, I was nervous. What happened next? Sean said to stand up. I did and started to dance to get my nerves up. So they didn't even ask you to dance. You just started dancing down the Skipper Hills. You just start. Okay. So what was Don wearing? His underwear. What was Sean doing? Touching himself. Was he pleasuring himself? Plasticating? Was he plasticating? That's the word we're going to use. Yes. Was he talking? What was he saying? Being encouraging and sweet. I was ready to speed things up a bit. What do you mean? Get it done. She's crying. What did you ask for? This is what I wanted y'all to see. A condom. What did Sean say? That these guys get tested at the time. So basically, no. These guys get tested. What? Later, did Don leave? Yes. Then Sean and I made love. Isn't that the same goddamn story Cassie told us? The next day, I went home. Any boat trips? A nice yacht day. Oh, girl, you make everything sound so cute. How did you feel? I felt exhilarated. It was taboo. I had a good time with my partner. Yeah, Sammy's daughter wrote a book about him. I met her. We actually modeled in the same outfit. Yeah, I met her. I believe she's wearing Marco on. She did a shoot. I think it was. She's in the book, in the outfit. I'm on the New Yorker. I was in the New Yorker in the same outfit. So, yeah, I do remember. Did you think you'd do it again? She said no, or maybe a few times, something taboo. How did things change? It opened a Pandora's box. Baby! There was so much of it afterwards, too much of it. How often, all the time, I went along. Like, why are you saying these statements like, okay, the defense is going to have a field day with Jane. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Because instead of you just answering the question, you got to follow it up with, I did this. As you seeing Sean in the courtroom, kind of like, okay. Because you know, she was still messing with him when he was clinking. You know, this is one of the witnesses that he tried to tamper with. She is the one. All right. Later, did you tell him you did not want it? Yes. In writing or verbally, both. Many times. This is where the problem is. She told him she didn't want to do this, both verbally and in writing. This is where the problem is. What did Sean tell you about your rent when you said you did not want to have X with other, it should be men? That he'd give me maybe 3 more months. How did you feel? Frustrated, obligated. Obligated to do what? Objection. Sidebar. All right. I hope the ones that I not like your stuff. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to not do that. Sorry. Let's go down here. All right. So they're back. Between 2023 to the time of his arrest, did he pay your rent and make you feel obligated to have X with other men? Yes. What did you two call this night? Y'all ready? Child. They was FOs before. Remember that? He told they was called debaucheries or hotel nights. Like that. You know what? How often did you see him? I can't with him. I cannot with him. So she said often. Every time you'd see him, did you have hotel nights? Yes, even though we spent a day or two together after it all felt like a hotel night. Who decided when? Sean, on short notice. I always had child care ready. This is where I have a big, huge problem. Hold on. I was always put together. What do you mean? My hair, my nails, my tan. He wanted me beautiful. He was already doing that before. Like we saw. Look, child. Did you go out with friends? Not after a trip in summer of 2022. He was dismissive. In the summer of 2021 to France. I went to the south of France with my friends. He was angry in the voice notes. Who did he want you to Look. How did he want you to look? Straight hair, ponytail. When we had X, he wanted me to pierce where? My ripples. Cassie much. We'll talk about that. Okay. Between 2021 and the break in 2023, when much money did you make and how? Social media posts, but that went down because my presence went down. I was focused on Sean. He would give me money here and there. How much at one time? $20,000. Oh wow. I can blow the $20,000. In less than half a day. Trust me, I can. I can. Do I? No, I'm not balling like that. I'm just saying that. She said here and there. You can blow through. I can't blow through 20. I got something that I would like to build in my backyard. It's just it's been on a list for a couple years. Cause baby, all right, I ain't got it. So it's just something that I visit every now and then. Like, ooh, I wish. How I might wish I had that she shed build out there tonight. And I can't. Listen, did you tell him you wanted to make your own money? When OnlyFans got big, I told him I wanted to do it like one of my model friends. He gave me this hesitant energy like, no. What is OnlyFans? Subscribe to models. I'd do nudity. Yeah. But no XX. Right. But he didn't approve. Why did you feel you needed his approval? I felt he was my boyfriend. I need to look up. I need to look up and see how old this heifer is. If it's her. Sealed exhibit. What is this? My lease for April 4th of 2023. How much was the rent each month? God, $10,000. Sean said, let's do a love contract. It was a flirty thing. He asked me how much allowance did I want going forward. I said 15. He said 10. So you was getting the 10,000 plus the 10,000 allowance, or the 10,000 you pay the rent and figure it out. 1,000? Jane, yes, I wanted a beautiful home for balance. Not renting. It's not. You should have made this super. At that time, he was a billionaire. You should have secured a home, girl. Yes, for always. Girl, how about you should have listen, don't give me 10,000. How about you buy me in my name as a gift a home, and then guess what I would have did? When they clink, that house would have been on the market. I would have moved to an undisclosed location. I need to keep reading because this is where I got a whole problem at. We didn't get to the whole problem that I got yet. She mentioned her child up top, but let's go. And I can't see why this should not be the catalyst for. I can't say the rest because I can't. What's this? It's a wire transfer to pay your rent? Yes. Who got you plane tickets to fly to the hotel nights? His travel agent, Jess. Here we go again. Or KK. What were the hotel suites like? Red lights, sheets everywhere for the excessive use of baby oil. Cassie 2.0? How many bottles? Objection. Sustained per hotel night. 24 bottles or more. Oh, ain't no way in the world. 24 bottles of he just wants you to be slipping and sliding. I would have slid right on out of his grip and ran up out of there. What is wrong with y'all? This night exhibit not shown to the gallery. Where was the hotel night? In my apartment. That's where I got the whole measy feeking problem at. That's where I got the whole problem at. Because she kept saying that they were having these hotel nights. She was going to hotels. She was doing this. She was doing that. Now we find out that you were having these, well, he didn't call them FO. So what are they? Debauchery nights, hotel nights in your apartment where you live with your son, regardless to whether or not you had child care on deck. Would he care? It ain't his kid. No, he would not. Regardless to whether or not you had child care on deck, your child still had to come there with all these body fluids. Did she say that they had the paid workers come to her home as well? Hold on, I don't think they got that far yet. But she says, where was the hotel night? In my apartment. What did you wear during these hotel nights? Lingerie, high stripper shoes. What would you and the other man do first? Objection. Rephrase. Who would you greet? The entertainer. I was on rugs. Sean told me to touch myself. Then the ex. So that means that this man does not care. He does not care. He cares about the welfare of his children. But if his children are not there, where they have security all the time, you are inviting these strange men into these women's houses. And then having all of this X, and if it's as bad as Cassie says it is, there's fluids all over the place, mixed with body fluids, mixed with baby oil, and it's just all over the daggone place. And your son still has to walk up in here. Now, I'm pretty sure that because it was at her house, he ain't had nobody come and help her clean up nothing. You clean this up yourself. Forgive me for asking, but oral or, relations? Oral. Later, I would be with Sean. So you had her put her mouth on these men. Like Gene Dill said, I'm going to get these girls hooked on rugs and pimp them out to my boys. Yep. Would you clean up the Spajaka Lake? No. So she said no. How long were the hotel nights? 20 or 30 hours. That's a whole freaking day and some hours if you add it's 24 hours in a day. 6 more hours. If it's 30 hours, it's a day and 6 hours. If it's 20 hours, it's a third of a day. Like it's, we could break here. Jurors, we may start staying later. Do not speak with each other about the case. All rise. Jane's counsel wants to remind those in the gallery not to report any personal identifying information from the lawyer's screens. I may submit a letter about the SCIF, but it will be in the docket. And this is just some paperwork that he filed in regard to this case, and he got an answer. back. We're not going to go through that. All right. So I'm not going down there because people are probably saying that so that someone that's not no, that's not what we're doing. We're not doxing anybody over here, even though the majority of people know. So I mean, are thinking the same way. And so Ali, I don't know if you read about Miss Westmoreland. We went over that in the beginning of the story. You know that I said that there was a reason why. I think there was a theory about why I believe Miss Westmoreland was hired on this case, and I wasn't going to talk about it, but I felt compelled to talk about it today because the way she questioned the witnesses, I didn't like that. When you had your own case and you sued for the very same thing that some of them sued for first, compensation. And I just, if it was me, I wouldn't have taken this case if I were her. But that's her business. Like, I'm sure she's getting paid a couple mil for being in here, but for you to stand up and question these girls and dismiss what they are claiming didn't sit well in my eyes. So so come on, girl. We're gonna pull it up. Let's talk about your case and how you tried to sue Birdman. Yeah, his brother, Universal Music, in the studio where they were for money for you being great, right? You weren't believed. It's not that they didn't believe the grape. It's just that there was a lot of things that she did that she clearly should have went after the people who own the studio, because the studio said that they are the ones that provide security. She called ahead of time and asked. So the studio said that they provide security and for the studio sessions, and they also have surveillance. So she allegedly gets griped. She tries to sue, but she tries to sue Cash Money Records. Birdman and his brother Ronald. Birdman was the vice president at the time, and Ronald Williams was the president. Neither one of them was there downstairs with her. The man that allegedly raped her was arrested. She won a case by default because he didn't respond for liability, but you still sued Cash Money Records, Birdman, Universal Records, Ronald, and the studio for money. So, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's what I always say. And I just think that she should have a little more compassion or remove your head from this case. But you know what it is? I'm going to tell y'all what it is because I watched it yesterday. They are so, in Fulton County, they're used to going to the court. They're used to just walking in. It is what it is. But this case, and even though that was, Young Thug, and that was a high-profile case that she was a part of, and we all fell in love with Miss Westmoreland at that, during that time. We all fell in love with Brian Steele during that time. I had seen Brian Steele. I have always been a fan of Bruce Harvey. I always just, I used to call him the ponytail attorney. He's always been a beast. I've watched a lot of cases that he presided over. He's very controversial in the courtroom, as we all saw. And he pushes the limits all the time. So I always watched cases of Bruce Harvey when I came across them. But when they arrived to the courthouse in New York, And y'all can go back and y'all can watch it. You can find it all over the YouTube, right? They arrive. Security is there. Paparazzi is there. I mean, you got the people are out there screaming, oh, look at the attorneys, and so her partner Xavier, he gets out first. That was the first time that I saw him yesterday. I don't recognize him. Remember, y'all kept telling y'all, I don't know if I knew who he was. I didn't recognize him. He got out, he's sharp and in the suit, sharp. He got out, they're like, oh, look at him. He looking all dapper and stuff. Good luck. Y'all doing a good job. People out there like free Puff. People out there like fuck Puff. Put him under the jail. Oh, free Puff. You got everybody out there just. Now she waits a few minutes after he gets out, and then here comes Miss Nicole Westmoreland. They're like, Miss Nicole Westmoreland, how you doing? She's just walking. She don't have on a suit or nothing. She got on sneakers. She got on did she even have some jeans she had on? She was dressed really, really casual. Her hair was up, put up in a ponytail. And so she gets by the door and somebody says, give me one more. She turns around, smiles, and waves at them really playfully and turns around and walks into the courtroom. That's that's part of what's happening here. She feels like a fucking rock star. Are you kidding me? Do you see the chaos that's going on down there outside of that courtroom? And for her to be in this big town, she's from Georgia now. And you got all of these people from all walks of life, and people are screaming your name, and they're like, yeah, she is Miss Nicole Westman. Oh, you're an awesome attorney. Like, yeah, rah, rah, rah. But when she got to that door, somebody was like, give us one more. And then Huzzy turned around and smiled and was like, real playful. I said, okay. I see what's going on here. And then you get in there and cross these women and disregard things that they went through because people are trying to act like everything is all about money. Some people not understanding that he didn't give some people money. He owes a lot of those girls that he essayed money. He gypped them out of money. He cheated them out of money. Like, what are we talking about? You guys are trying to hold on to a legacy that is already tarnished. And I'll say it and I'll say it again. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know what happened to the stand-up men in the communities. But there's a YouTuber who they said was knocked out, and he deserves to be knocked out. Because irregardless to what we feel about Miss Combs, she's 80 years old. And this is about the third or fourth time that I heard this you know what? One woman from New York said to him, you are so disrespectful. Watch your mouth. Don't say that. That is nothing that you should be saying to her. But that's the crazy lady that got kicked out of court yesterday. So is anybody else really listening to what she's saying? No. It's very disrespectful for you to be telling this man's woman that this man's mother that you're so fine that I would drink your bath water. It's highly offensive. It is disgusting. And I can't believe where are the stand-up men in the community? Irregardless as to what people think about her, how she's involved in this, she is still an elder in the community. Now, if she does jail time, she does jail time. But that is just downright disrespectful for you to continuously keep yelling this out to this woman over and over and over again. But I forgot you don't have no respect for your mama and the women in your family So I guess that should just be expected. But I would be expecting somebody that's out there talking about free pup, free pup. He ain't do nothing. Free pup. He wasn't nothing but freaky. Free pup that y'all, not one of y'all ain't popped him yet. But y'all screaming about free her son? All right. I was here longer than what I thought I was going to be. I'm going to get on out of here, y'all. But y'all know I end my shows the same way. Today I had to do this one like this because I was just like, what? They gon' disbar what? They gon' ban your butt from the court, Diddy. You better stop it. Not now, but right now, the judge said, do it one more again. One more. He ain't playing with you. I know he has something nasty to say when they talk to him. You can't be looking at the jury. You cannot be making those, Mr. Combs, did you hear what the judge said? He probably like, man, F him. He can't put me out to court. Oh, gosh, not a Darryl Brooks moment. We don't need that, bruh. Well, anyway, I'm going to end the show like I always do by telling you, by bringing awareness that men get breast cancer too. Because of the stigma surrounding the word breast, we have changed the word to chest and or pec cancer over here on the Survivor Speaks channel. So let's continue to bring awareness that men get breast cancer too. And to all of my ladies, please make sure that you are getting your mammograms, filling on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. All right. And don't you dare let anyone come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I am Survivor Speaks. I'll see you guys in the next live video, which may be in the AM. I got to think about it. Oh, my goodness. Peace. Thank you for watching. Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a leaf in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. Just if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Hold it clear to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wrap your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speaks. What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah.